Shalom. I want to give all praise and glories to Yahweh. All praise, all honors and glories to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushua Ba'Hashem Rakakudash, and the honor state apostles and others who great milestone salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Amno Allah from Gemma, Chicago. And as you can see here on the news, right, they're talking about, Department of Transportation might be forced to shut down some airspace next week. And now it's getting real serious out here too, because of this government shutdown, and that the fact that these federal workers are not getting paid right now, right? So now they're tending to call off and shit, not showing up at work, all right? Egypt, all right, is failing, all right? These people are not having any jobs, right? They're getting laid off for load, right? Going to work without pay. All right, but now they're going to, now they're going to, be able to, they have no choice but to leave their job, all right, to get another job, all right, because they got bills to pay, all right, they gotta like live, they gotta, get groceries and shit like that. But nonetheless, all right, real soon, America is gonna become a war zone, all right. They ain't gonna be entering in or exiting, all right, especially exiting out of this country. Well, yeah, even the airport near us at our crib, travelers at O'Hare experienced delays as some U.S. airspace could close due to government shutdown, and that's right. Now, these are probably times that we're coming into, and these people are gonna wish, all right, they're gonna wish to be out of America, but you know what? Nah, it'll be too late because, Esau shutting shit down. These people think that this place has another 5 to 10 years and shit, but really, you can see based upon the prophecies that are coming to pass, all right, you can see that we are, that the end is nigh at hand, all right? Well, the end of, Esau's kingdom, but hey, as for the elect, as for us, the hopeful elect, all right, we see salvation, all right? Romans 13 and 11. It says, Romans 13 and 11. It says, knowing that the time that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. And that's right, it's high time to wake out of sleep. You see these prophecies that are coming to pass, right? That goes to show you that the word of the Lord is faithful and true, right? Based upon prophecies that are coming to pass, all right? And well, now we're in the midst of a economic depression, and it's only going to get worse. All right, these people are losing their jobs. People are not getting paid. All right, people are about to starve to death. And it talks about that in the scriptures too. All right, famines in diverse places. Because what? These people are going to be panicking. They're about to break. All right, they're about to lose their shit. Especially those who rely on EBT. Well, ultimately, everybody's going to be starving here in America. All right, because everybody's going to be panicking and shit when they realize that the government is not opening back anytime soon, because Esau's just going to keep it closed. All right. This is like, we're actually coming down to the wire. All right, you can see that Esau's about to implement, all right, the digital ID, all right, which will soon lead to the MOTB, which the scriptures speak of, all right, the RFID. You know what? That'll be implemented underneath your skin by the swipe of your hand. All right, you can use it for buying and selling. All right. All right, that's the one major prophecy that's about to come to pass. It says, "For so the night is far spent, and the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light." This armor of light, is speaking about these scriptures. Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not strife and envy, but put ye on the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. And this goes for me first and foremost, right? You know, we gotta do better on our part. You know, it goes for me first and foremost. All right, acquire more discipline. Right, stay focused on this word. All right, because hey, you know, Esau's kingdom is falling. All right, and the only way to escape out of this, America, all right, is by, you know, waiting upon Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai, and continuing to do His will, right, to the best of our ability. You know, as we see the day approaching where Yahushai is about to crack the clouds and deliver His elect. But yeah, you know, people are not gonna be able to travel soon, but through, you know, planes and shit, right? Because America's broke. And yeah, you know, this is what we're seeing right now. All right, you know, here you got in the news too. All right, they're saying that, oh yeah, you know, I find it funny because I see as Esau is playing around with these people for fun and shit, you know, and these people, they have no idea that all hell's about to break loose. But basically, what Esau is putting out there in the news is a false hope, telling these people, oh yeah, all right, we're about to give these people SNAP, but it's going to be partial SNAP, right? Partial SNAP benefits, all right? Half of what they usually just had. And these people, you know, of course they're not breaking down because they're hearing that on the news, but they gotta wait until the next month, 3 to 4 weeks, right? But meanwhile, all right, you got people that are realizing, oh damn, 3 to 4 weeks, I can't wait on 3 or 4 weeks. All right, I got children to feed, I got bills to pay, all right? I'm starving, I'm hungry, you know? But nonetheless, here's Isaiah 19:3. I'm gonna start with, well, this is what we're basically seeing right now. Now I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. That's what we're seeing right now. These people are about to come against each other, right? Esau is coming against his own. Right? You know, you see Donald Trump, you know, which the elites are giving him the script to follow orders at the end of the day. Well, you can see Donald Trump as a cruel lord, right, telling people on the news, hey, you know, we ain't giving nobody any partial SNAP benefits or SNAP benefits in general until the government opens back up. But as we know, at the end of the day, you know, that's not going to happen. Hopefully, right? Lord willing, this be it. Right? But I really do believe they ain't gonna open the government back up. I believe they're actually gonna use this excuse, this chaos, all right, to bring in the R4D, you know what, they'll be soon implemented underneath people's skin. The new way of buying and selling, because right now they're trying to crash the economy, and that's exactly what is happening. But it says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of the cruel Lord. And that's who you see right now that is in office right now, all right? Donald Trump, that being of, you know, the cruel Lord. And here you got people who are suffering, all right? And a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts. And yeah, you know, these people are about to face draconian measures, all right? Soon they'll be restricted from going from one place to another, because by then, when all hell breaks loose, right, poor Cecil is going to declare martial law and all that, right? He's going to set up draconian measures, and that's going to drive these people nuts, right? So like, I'm a bit stuttering right now because I be wearing retainers and it be fucking up my teeth and shit. Nothing wrong, wearing retainers, but yeah. Now let's, here's Sirach chapter 10, verse 3. It says, "An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them that are in authority, the city shall be inhabited." And right now you're seeing an unwise king destroying his own people. Esau, Edom. Alright, he is destroying even his very own people in order to set up a new world order. Right? And you can see that his own people are also mourning and shit because of Esau being in power, right? Fucking up his very own people as well, financially. And with these laws and legislations and shit, right? His very own people are getting fucked up, over by, Esau himself, right? But you can see that, the division is definitely here in America. Esau is divided against himself. Right? You see that through the political point of view, but we all know that through politics, the Democrat and the Republican side are, at the end of the day, are both working together. But you can see that there is literally division between the two, right? Between the two sides, division between these people, division amongst these police officers, these law enforcement, and these military groups and shit. All right. But it says, "But through the prudence of them that are in authority, the city shall be inhabited." And of course, we have no continuous city here on this side because, America's failing, or America's collapsing. There's no future for this place. There's no hope. Are those barriers? Oh, no. But yeah. The Lord is about to establish rulership, right? When Esau is about to fill his belly, and when he starts to implement the RFID microchip globally, which will be made mandatory as well, all right, the Lord is going to throw a monkey wrench into his plans, right? Alright, but it says, "But through the prudence of them that which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited." The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. In due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And that's what we're waiting for. A righteous kingdom, an everlasting kingdom. Right? A kingdom that is yet to come. And hey, that is fastly approaching. Alright, we can see that. It tells you in the scriptures, right? To measure the times, or look out for the signs and the times that we're living in, and we know that we're at the very latter days of Esau's rulership, right? Esau's kingdom is collapsing. But nonetheless, we're going to go through all hell. We're going to catch all kinds of hell. All right? But the scriptures tell you to hold fast and that no man take that crown. We're going to go through all kinds of fucked up situations, right? Jacob's trouble hasn't even gotten to that dire point yet, but we're getting to that point real fast. Alright, you ain't gonna be able to do the things that you like, that you used to before, right? But here it says, Revelation 3:11 says, "Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take that crown." And that's right. We just gotta keep holding on. Alright, hold fast that no man take that crown. going to go through all kinds of hell. All right. We're going to go through. Of course, we're in financial situations. We already are catching hell, but all the things that we're being afflicted by. Going through all these chastisements is meant for us to be able to withstand the things that we're about to experience in the perilous times that we're entering into right now. But nonetheless, hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai, and Shalom.